Now, if you had to guess, what do you think the largest expense is in retirement? Some of you might be guessing that it could be travel. It's a good guess, but usually not the right answer. Some of you might be guessing that it's healthcare or maybe long-term care. Again, good guess, but again, typically not the right answer. Some of you might be guessing that it's income tax or taxes. This might be true for some of us. It's a pretty good guess, and income taxes do have a very big impact on a retirement plan. But for many of us, the largest expense in retirement are going to be the investment fees on our retirement portfolio. Now, investment fees have an incredible impact on retirement spending and a retirement plan. And in this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of examples of just how impactful investment fees can be on a retirement plan. Now, investment fees get a lot of attention on the accumulation side, and rightly so. Higher investment fees means you accumulate less assets by the time you get to retirement. Investment fees have a direct impact. They drag on the compounding effect of investments over time, meaning that you have less at retirement. So they get a lot of attention on the accumulation side, but they don't get enough attention on the decumulation side. Now, when we talk about investment fees in retirement, we like to talk about it as any other retirement expense, along the same lines as travel, healthcare, hobbies, entertainment. Investment fees are like any other expense in retirement. They're a little bit hidden, but they have a direct impact on how much you can spend in retirement. A $1 million portfolio with a 2% investment fee is going to have $20,000 a year in investment fees. That has a direct impact on how much those retirees can spend in retirement. A $1.5 million portfolio with 2% investment fees, $30,000 a year in retirement spending impact. A $2 million investment portfolio, 2% fees, $40,000 a year. That has a direct impact on how much they can spend in retirement. It's a trade-off. It means spending less on travel, less on hobbies and entertainment, maybe less in terms of gifts, supporting kids or grandkids. Those investment fees have a direct impact on how much you're able to spend in retirement. Now, we're going to take a look at an example of how impactful that is on a retirement plan. Now, my name is Owen. I'm an advice-only financial planner, a CFP, and I'm the founder of Advice. Advice is an easy and powerful retirement planning platform that you can use to build your own retirement plan. If you haven't built a retirement plan yet, then I highly encourage you to do so. You can go to advice.ca and get started. It's just $9 a month. It's so inexpensive, there's really no reason not to get started today. Now, before we get into the example, I want to highlight how you can end up with a $1 million or $2 million portfolio with 2% fees. It's a lot easier than you might think. What typically happens is that 20, 25, 30 years ago, when you were starting investing, you got connected with an investment advisor at a bank or maybe a large investment institution, and that might have been a friend or a friend of a friend or some other connection. And at the time, there weren't a lot of options if you wanted to get started with investing for retirement. And so you probably got started with an investment advisor, and you were probably paying 2.5, or 3% fees on your investments. But over time, as your investments grew, despite those higher fees, as you made additional contributions to your retirement portfolio, it ended up growing to be $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, but still with the same investment fees. And so if you're still with the same investment advisor that you had 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, chances are you're still paying those high investment fees, not realizing that there are lower cost options, especially with a large portfolio. There are lower cost options and likely with better service as well. Now, as an advice-only financial planner, you might be thinking that I would prefer to see the lowest investment fees that's possible. That's not really the case. Not everybody is meant to be a DIY investor. Not everybody can manage their own investment portfolio, especially if you've been working with an investment advisor for 15, 20, 25 years. Shifting over to a DIY investment portfolio is just simply not realistic. But with a large investment portfolio, even a smaller investment portfolio, there are options to reduce the investment fees that you pay. There are a lot of options out there. And so I would encourage you that if you have been with your investment advisor for 15, 20, 25 years, to explore other options, to see what other options are out there, especially as you transition into retirement, and those investment fees have a direct impact on how much you can spend in retirement. Okay, let's walk through this example here and let's show how impactful these investment fees can be Already you can see here how much in terms of lifetime investment fees this couple is going to pay. It's over $1 million. It's just about a third of their lifetime spending, and you can see it's just about double what they'll pay in tax over the course of their retirement plan. So already here you can get a sense of just how impactful these investment fees end up being. Now they have a $2.5 million portfolio. They're paying 2% in investment fees. They have a 60-40 portfolio that gets decumulated over time. It's a fairly successful plan with 82% success rate. They do have a small estate value towards the end, about $845,000 left in financial assets. Their success rate's fairly good here, and they want to retire within the next year. So they're both age 60. They want to retire at age 61. And we can see their decumulation plan is pretty good. So there might not be a reason to make a change here, except for it's directly impacting how much they can spend in retirement. With that size of a portfolio, right now they're only able to spend $95,000, $96,000 a year in early retirement. We want to see if we can boost that up by reducing the investment fees that they are paying. Now, $1.1 million in investment fees is quite a lot. Let's see what we can do if we can lower those investment fees to 1% instead of 2%. So let's switch over here to the other scenario where we have 1% investment fees. Now these fees, we haven't made any changes quite yet, so it's still the same spending. Their investment fees have gone down, but their estate value has gone up. So we can see that right now they're ending up with 1.5 million at the end of the plan. So rather than having that sort of 850,000, they've got significantly more financial assets towards the end of the plan. That's not really the goal for this couple. They want to spend more in early retirement. So let's go down to the AI strategies here. We're going to filter on this spending strategy specifically, and we're going to take a look at whether or not we can spend more in early retirement. So we're going to re-rank by lifetime spending, and we could either increase spending over the entire retirement period, or we could look at increasing spending during the go-go phase. And if you remember from the last scenario that we looked at, they were at about 82% success rate. So we could maybe increase their go-go spending by about $18,000 a year. That brings them back to that sort of 80% success rate range. But because this is discretionary spending, I think we can push it a little bit higher. So we can, in this case, increase go-go spending till age 75 by about $24,000 a year because we've reduced their investment fees from 2% to 1%. So this is still like a portfolio manager, investment counselor. They're probably getting more attention than they were from their old investment advisor, but they're paying less in terms of investment fees every year. And this directly impacts how much they can spend here in retirement. So let's enable this strategy. We're actually going to see their investment fees go down more because now they don't have such a large portfolio at the end of retirement. We're going to see their lifetime spending go up. So let's see. So it goes from 3.3 million. If we recalculate here, we're at almost 3.7. So we've added $400,000 in retirement spending, and now their investment fees are half what they were. So we're still at the same roughly kind of $850,000, $900,000 financial assets towards the end of the plan, but we've helped them spend significantly more in that early phase. So they're spending an extra $24,000 a year until age 75. That's incredible. That's incredible how much more they can spend. Now this is discretionary spending. They might have to cut that back if they have some poor investment returns here. But even then, we've added so much in additional spending to their plan that they can really enjoy that early retirement period. And we've done nothing. We've not changed their lifestyle. There's no changes in asset allocation. All we've done is help them find a lower cost investment option for their $2.5 million. Now, if you've got $1 million or $1.5 million, it depends on how much you're paying in investment fees, how impactful this will be. But for this couple, we've cut their investment fees in half from about 1.1 million to about 530,000, and we've helped them spend significantly more in early retirement when it's most impactful. Now, I don't know what you think, but in terms of making just one change to a retirement plan, that's a pretty good outcome. Now, I would highly encourage you to take a look at how much you're paying in investment fees. Take a look at your statements. If you're with a large financial institution, if you've been with them for 15, 20, 25 years, if you've built up a retirement portfolio of $500,000, $1 million plus, chances are you're probably paying too much in investment fees. There are probably lower cost options out there that even provide better service than what you're currently receiving. And it's going to have a direct impact on how much you can spend in retirement. As we saw, the less you pay in investment fees, the more you can spend in early retirement. Create an account on advice.ca, build your retirement plan, take a look at what your total lifetime fees will be, and see whether or not you're comfortable paying that much in investment fees over your retirement period. Maybe there's a better way that you think you can spend that money during retirement. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you like and subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.